In the summer of 2012, at the London Olympic Games, a young Puerto Rican boxer named Félix Verdejo Sanchez stood as one of the sport's brightest beacons. Known to fans and commentators simply as El Diamante, the Diamond, he was the pride of Puerto Rico, a prospect widely expected to bring home gold and eventually dominate the professional circuit. For years, his trajectory seemed destined for greatness, culminating in a 2014 Knockout of the Year and a lucrative professional career under the tutelage of top promoters. But a decade later, Verdejo's name would vanish from the sports pages and reappear in criminal court dockets, forever linked to a brutal tragedy that shocked the island and the world. Félix Verdejo was born in May 1993 in San Juan, growing up in a large family of modest means. Ironically, his first love was baseball, but a childhood skirmish changed his path. When he was 9 years old, a fight with a neighbor's son prompted his father to offer a piece of advice. If he wanted to fight, he should do it properly, with gloves on. Félix took the advice to heart, entered a local gym, and discovered a natural gift. By 16, he was a Pan American junior champion. By 19, an Olympian. Between 2012 and 2019, he amassed a professional record of 27 wins and only 1 loss. He was a celebrated hero, a man who had seemingly recovered from a near-fatal motorcycle accident in 2016 to return to the ring. To the public, he was a disciplined athlete and a family man. However, behind the accolades and the public image of a devoted father and husband, Verdejo was living a double life, characterized by manipulation and control. Keishla Rodríguez Ortiz, known to her loved ones as Keishla, was born in November 1993, the same year as Verdejo. Kind-hearted and an animal lover who aspired to be a veterinarian, she worked at a veterinary aesthetic center where she was known for her reliability. Keishla and Félix had known each other since middle school. Their teenage friendship blossomed into a romance that persisted even as Félix rose to stardom and committed himself to another woman. While Félix married Elise Marie Santiago Sierra, an aspiring model and influencer, and welcomed a daughter with her in 2019, he refused to let Keishla go. For over a decade, Keishla remained in the shadows, holding on to the hope that her first love would eventually choose her. It was a toxic dynamic. Félix was possessive, reportedly threatening Keishla that if she ever dated anyone else, there would be severe consequences. He controlled her movements and isolated her, yet he returned to his wife at the end of the day. The precarious balance of this double life collapsed in April 2021. Keishla discovered she was pregnant when she broke the news to Félix. Expecting perhaps a moment of reckoning, she was met with rage. Félix, concerned only with his public image and his marriage, demanded she terminate the pregnancy. Keishla refused. She was 27, employed, and ready to be a mother, with or without him. This refusal set a horrific plan in motion. Félix reached out to Luis Antonio Cádiz, a contact with ties to the criminal underworld, and solicited his help. He needed to make the problem disappear. On April the 29th, 2021, Félix called Keishla and arranged a meeting, claiming he wanted to see the pregnancy test results himself. Hopeful that he was finally accepting the situation, Keishla agreed. Her family, however, was uneasy. Her sister, Berelise, urged her not to go, sensing the danger in Félix's erratic behavior. But Keishla drove her Kia Forte to the meeting point, believing she could reason with the man she loved. When Keishla arrived, she entered Félix's black Dodge Durango. Inside, the trap sprung. As she presented the medical paperwork confirming the pregnancy, an argument ensued. In a sudden burst of violence, Félix struck her hard in the face, knocking her unconscious. While she was incapacitated, he injected her with a sedative mixture procured by Cádiz. With Keishla unconscious but alive, Félix and Cádiz bound her limbs with wire and attached a heavy concrete block to her body. They drove the Durango onto the Teodoro Moscoso Bridge, which spans the San Jose Lagoon. Under the cover of darkness, they threw Keishla into the water. To ensure she would not survive, Félix drew a pistol and fired shots at her body from the bridge before fleeing the scene. The next morning, the alarm was raised. Keishla, who never missed a shift without calling, failed to show up for work. When her sister Bereliz went to her apartment and found Keishla's beloved pets hungry and alone, she knew something terrible had happened. The family immediately contacted the police and publicly named Félix Verdejo as the likely suspect, citing his threats and the pregnancy. A frantic search gripped Puerto Rico. On April the 30th, Keishla's abandoned car was found. 2 days after the murder, on May 1st, a body was discovered in the lagoon. The condition of the remains made identification difficult, but a distinctive diamond tattoo confirmed the family's worst fears. It was Keishla. As public outrage boiled over, investigators moved quickly. Surveillance footage from the bridge captured the boxers Durango and Keishla's car in tandem. Crucially, Félix's wife, Elise, did not support his alibi, telling police he was not home on the night of the murder. The pressure broke the accomplice, Luis Cadiz, who turned himself in and provided a full confession detailing the kidnapping, the injection, and the disposal of the body. Félix Verdejo surrendered to authorities but maintained his innocence, refusing to cooperate. He was charged with kidnapping resulting in death, carjacking resulting in death, and the killing of an unborn child. The evidence against him was overwhelming. Cell phone tower data placed him at the scene. The weapon used was registered to him, and biological evidence was found in his vehicle. The legal proceedings were delayed by the COVID-19 pandemic, prolonging the agony for the Rodríguez family. Finally, in 2023, the trial began. The prosecution painted a picture of a narcissist who chose murder over the inconvenience of a scandal. The defense tried to cast doubt on Cadiz's testimony, but the jury was unconvinced. In July 2023, Félix Verdejo Sanchez was found guilty on all charges. At his sentencing hearing on November 3, 2023, the fallen star remained defiant, offering no apology. The judge, noting the egregious cruelty of the crime, sentenced him to 2 consecutive life terms without the possibility of parole. The Diamond of Puerto Rico had traded his legacy for a prison cell, leaving behind a grieving family and a community forever haunted by the memory of the woman he destroyed to save his reputation.